there, this is Aggie V. I'm your host for West Green West Unveiled. And today I have a very interesting guest. Her name is Janna Hiemstra. And Janna is the director of the Craft Ontario organization, which is a place that exhibits artist work, craftsman work. The place is absolutely gorgeous. The work that these artists do is extraordinary. I don't know how in heaven's name they make the things they do. I think it's one of Toronto's best kept secrets. So welcome, Janna, to our podcast.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. So let's talk about your organization.
Sounds great.
It's a not-for-profit, isn't it?
Absolutely. So Craft Ontario is an art service organization, not-for-profit. We've been around for 47 years now.
Really?
Yeah, and we're member-based. So we have members that are primarily craft artists, as well as supporters. And our mission is to support those craft artists in their careers as artists and entrepreneurs.
Great. So how many members do you have?
We have about 1,200 members, and about 1,000 of those are craft artists throughout the province and also throughout the country.
Yeah. So being a not-for-profit, do you have to look for sponsors to do all the exhibitions you do with the artists, or what?
To a degree. So we actually have a lot of different ways of bringing in our own revenues. We do receive government support, and we receive grants from the Ontario Arts Council and the Toronto Arts Council, project grants from the Canada Arts Council. But we also bring in revenues through things like workshops, through advertising in our magazine, through fundraising, through events. So we really have a lot of different activities that help make us run.
Let's talk about some of the artists you have in the show.
Absolutely.
Because I visited the shop myself. And I saw some extraordinary things in there.
Yes, we did.
And I saw this piece of art that was made from wood. And it was, I'd say, maybe 4 feet tall.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like a shape like that. And it had all kinds of different wood in it. What was that? That was amazing.
Well, and you have a very good eye, because that's a stunning piece. And that's by one of our longtime members, David Khusravi. And he is a master wood turner. And he makes these forms by laminating together different types of wood. And that's where you get the different colors from. And then he turns each section and then combines them to make these really sinuous forms. So you get something that's really organic out of these very rectangular pieces. And to do that is extremely difficult.
I mean, it was completely, you just touched it and it was so smooth. And all different pieces of wood.
Yeah.
It was beautiful to see.
Yeah, it's a stunning piece. And that's what we're all about. So David is a great example of an artist who has built up his skill over many, many years, creates incredible pieces, and that's his practice as an artist. And that's what we work to support. So we help represent his work in the shop. We help promote his work and his story as an artist. In addition to the shop, we do exhibitions. We publish Studio Magazine. So we really work hard to not only support their careers by giving them business support, but by also doing a lot of work to connect them with the public audience.
That's terrific. How much would a piece like that cost?
I believe that piece is around $3,500. Yep.
Well, that's not that expensive for a piece like that, with all the work that's in it. How long did it take him to make that?
That's a good question. I don't know exactly, but you've also hit upon a really interesting thing that we also work really hard to educate people about. making work like that takes a lot of time.
Oh, yeah.
It takes a huge investment in skills. And so many people will come in and see the price of a one-of-a-kind piece and go, oh my goodness, why is this mug $75? And that's our opportunity to say, well, this is a whole different context for how you get to have an object in your life. And what you're doing is you're paying for all of that skill, for their expertise, for their artistic practice.
And their time too.
And you're supporting local, you're supporting your neighbors, you're investing back into Canadian artists, and
which is a great
every
thing.
penny.
Yeah, because all your artists that you exhibit, are they all Canadians from Ontario?
Yeah, they're all Canadians, mostly from Ontario. Yes.
And you have Indigenous art there as well, don't you?
Absolutely. So the Craft Ontario shop is actually even older than the actual organization itself. So the shop was formed in 1931. So it's just over 90 years now. And it was started through different women's guilds that wanted to specifically support craft artists. And a big part of that initiative was also representing Indigenous work. So we are, we're the oldest retailer of Indigenous work in Toronto.
Really? You have some very interesting things in there. I love silver. I'm a silver gal, I can tell. So I looked at the showcases with the silver necklaces, earrings, and beadwork with silver. Tell us a little bit about the silver. Who are the artists that make the silver? There's a necklace I fell in love with. It was about this size, and then it had this thing like a leaf or something, but it was thick, and it was just extraordinary.
Yeah, I think you're talking about Patricia Zrzinska's work, and she's a local Toronto jeweler. And we actually represent over 250 artists in the shop.
Do you?
So there's a lot of different artists that we could talk about.
Wow.
But Patricia is amazing. She has this really amazing technique of making the metal seem like it's organic, and in the way that she creates texture and finishes, and just beautiful, beautiful work.
Yeah, and gorgeous pieces there. There was another piece that caught my eye, and it was a lamp.
Oh, yes.
It was about this high, and it was made of glass, and it had like a tube coming out of it.
Yeah.
And when it was lit, it looked like it was creamy. It was really unusual and quite beautiful. Who's the artist that did that?
Those are stunning lamps, and the design is just immaculate. And that is work by Brad Turner. He's also a local Toronto glass artist. And he's an incredible designer as well. Like, he really knows how to bring the skill together with really incredible design. And when you were thinking about that tube part, he's actually integrated the cord as this loop within the body of the lamp.
So was the cord.
Yeah, and the lamp itself is blown glass. And he has an incredible range of work, and he was also a contestant on the Blown Away Glass series. So there's a little fun.
Where did they do that? The Blown Away Glass series?
Yeah, so it's filmed in Hamilton, Ontario, through a connection through Sheridan College. And there's been a good number of Canadian glass artists on the show that have gotten international attention because it's on Netflix.
Well, one of the days, I've been in your store a couple of times now, just to sort of look and see what was what. Yeah. And I used to be in the fashion business a long time ago. And there was this stunning piece. It was not right in the window, but it was close to the window. It was kind of like a shawl.
Yeah.
With muted colors. And then this piece came across, and it was like a purse with exactly the same colors. It was tremendous.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So that's Svetlana, who's also just outside Toronto. She's a local textile artist, and she works magic in wool. So that piece is all felted wool. And she brings in different colors and designs to create the piece, but she's very good at playing with texture too. So when you wear one of her pieces, it's a statement piece.
That was a gorgeous piece, I have to say.
Yeah.
But another day I was in your store, and there was an artist, she was weaving something. And I think she was actually preparing for an exhibition in the store. Where do you do your exhibitions?
Yeah, so our Queen Street location, the front of the space is our shop. So that's where we represent and sell our members' work. And then if you go a little further back, we have an area where we do exhibition programming. And we do about 6 exhibitions a year, and that's by a juried call for entry process because we have a lot of members, so we can't show everybody every year. And so that was Miriam, and she's one of 2 artists in the show. The other artist is Sandy. And it's a great show. It's based on flat weaving and also traditional knot work that you would use in rug making. And they actually connected in 2019 online. Because Sandy lives in Montreal and Miriam lives in Stockholm. Yeah. And so they connected and they started teaching each other how to do their different techniques online and all throughout the pandemic. So the exhibition we have on right now shows the body of work that they each developed using each other's techniques and exploring how to play with new ways of using textile.
Her work is really lovely, really nice. But when you have an exhibition, how do you inform people? Like, for instance, we're on West Queen West. How do you let the people on West Queen West know there is an exhibition? Is there a price for entry? That kind of thing. How do you do it?
Our exhibitions are all free, so we welcome anyone to come in anytime. I mean, so many people will come into the shopping gallery and just spend, a good half hour or more enjoying the work. And we love it when people do that because learning and enjoying is all part of supporting these craft artists. So exhibitions are free, and we have a newsletter that goes out a couple times every month. So we invite people to sign up to our newsletters. We share the information on different, postings around Toronto and throughout the province. And we also have really great social media channels on Facebook and Instagram at Craft Ontario. So those are all the ways that we connect with people.
So when someone buys a piece from you, do you, let's say it's a first-time person, and they buy a piece of art, do you ask them for their email?
Absolutely. Yes.
You do?
Yes.
So you have an email, a customer account on an email, and then I'm assuming you would then send them newsletters and things like that. So that's the base of getting new customers there, right? Now, how about the artists? How do the artists know that you are there? Do you go through the college, or are there other colleges involved in what you do?
That's a great question. We do work with a lot of post-secondary institutions that have craft training and craft studios. We work a lot with Sheridan College out in Oakville. They have a craft and design program with OCAD University. George Brown College has an amazing jewelry program. And so we every year do presentations to students, and we help them learn about all the opportunities, because beyond exhibitions in the shop, we do business support. So we help folks get discounts on insurance, on supplies. We also have an annual awards program. So a lot of different ways that actually we support a lot of emerging craft artists at the beginning of their careers.
So now on West Queen West, you have your magazine is on this table.
Yes.
So this magazine, tell us about the magazine and the content, what you put in it. And do you use the magazine as a way to get customers into the store?
Absolutely. So Studio is actually a national magazine, and we're the core publisher. And we partner with other craft organizations throughout the country to make this happen.
So, excuse me interrupting. Does that, when you partner with other craft organizations, do they buy space in the magazine?
They don't buy space, but they buy it for their members and their community.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So we also have distribution throughout the country.
Oh, you do?
Absolutely. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, we on an annual basis, we reach over 17,000 through studio.
Really?
Yeah. And it goes to craft artists, it goes to craft teachers, to curators, to administrators, to people who just love craft.
Yeah.
A lot of folks who, love to live with objects that bring meaning to their lives. This is the magazine for them.
So now, if somebody goes online and they get to your website, can they buy the magazine online?
Absolutely.
They can.
So you can buy it online, you can buy it in person. It's carried at select bookstores across the country through Magazines Canada. You can buy digital copies, and that's all, having that distribution network is really important for us because, again, it's that education piece. And studio really fills a role in the country of focusing on craft and design and making sure those stories are told, that things are being explored, that artists are being celebrated, where not a lot of other publications are doing that. So it's a really critical piece of what we do.
It's a beautiful magazine and it's really nicely done.
Thank you.
Really nicely done. So do you also feature some of your own artists in the magazine?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we have to be fair because it is national.
Yes.
So every issue will try to have a balance of representation from east to west and different types of media, different types of practices, and also trying to explore different kinds of issues. Like one of the key articles we had in one of our past issues, which was also in partnership with the University of Toronto, was looking at aging in craft. Like what happens when you've been a craft artist for 30 plus years.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So really looking at what are the issues, what are the things that we need to know about, and trying to make connections and bring, new ideas to the table.
Yeah. So let's say I walk off the street, I see the shop and I say, oh, that's nice, let me go in. And I see the magazine and I want to buy the magazine. How much would it cost?
A single issue would cost you $9.95, which I think is a steal of a deal.
Absolutely, because it's beautifully done, it's high quality.
Yep.
And there's a lot of interesting information about craft and various artists and so on.
Yep.
What's the difference between a craft artist and an artist?
That's a great question. Everybody asks it all the time. Honestly, I don't think in general there's really any difference between craft and art. And if you dig into the history of where those terms and categories came from, they came from the same place. But one of the ways that we approach it is that we really work on supporting people that work in particular media and again with particular skills. Yeah. So we really want to celebrate artists that are focusing on woodworking, on glass, ceramics, jewelry, textiles, stone, metal, where you really have to know what you're doing with that material to be an artist. Because there's a lot of opportunity for folks who are painters or drawers or multimedia. There's a lot of galleries and opportunities that will support them, but not as much for craft. So we really hold that space for craft artists.
What's the most expensive thing you've ever sold?
Probably a sculpture in the $25,000 range. So yeah, we carry some really high-end, expensive things, but we also really try to make sure that we're carrying things that anybody who wants to come in can access and enjoy. So, you can get a mug for $30 as well. And what's really incredible to me is that within that whole range, everything is incredible, and everything is being created with incredible amount of skill and care, and the object is beautiful. So we really want to celebrate all the objects and all the makers in all the different ways that they bring their work to the world. Yeah.
So in the shop, at the front of the shop, that's where all the pieces are. And then at the back is where the artists exhibit, right?
Correct. Yeah.
What's upstairs?
Upstairs are our amazing neighbors. So we share the space with a jewelry workshop business called The Devil's Workshop. So, which is fantastic because, you know, if you're coming in and you want to learn about craft, if you want to take it to the next step and learn how to make jewelry, you go upstairs.
Yeah. And do they have any pieces that they put into your place?
No,
they don't.
They are our members, and
are they?
They're the best neighbors. But they represent their work upstairs, and then because we have such limited space, because we have 1,200, but only really enough space for 250, we have to have an ongoing circulation of applications and bringing in new folks and new work.
So the Ontario Craft Organization is there only one location, which is on West Queen?
Currently, there's only one location. We're actually about to open a tiny little space. It's only going to be about 300 square feet in the Distillery District. So we'll be representing members there, providing another opportunity to sell and promote work, also deliver workshops in the space. But then also beyond that, we really work to partner with other organizations to have programming outside of the city. So for example, last year we partnered with a commercial gallery in the Kawartha Highlands area in Finland Falls, Colborne Street Gallery. And they hosted a juried member exhibition. And that was a great fit because they have space and a whole other community and way of reaching networks. And they created an exhibition that our members could apply to and show their work.
That's great.
Be in a whole new location. And we're going to do the same thing again this year with the Muskoka Arts and Crafts Organization up in Muskoka. And our idea is to do more and more of that so that we have more presence throughout the province. And again, working with our colleagues throughout the country, we'll be bringing some work to the Montreal Salon this December.
Well, so I want to ask you a little bit more about the memberships, Janna. Do you just have one type of membership, or do you have different types for different?
That's a great question. We do have different types. So our core membership is for makers, and so we call it a maker membership. And that's really for anybody who has a practice. And the benefits and services that come with that membership are geared towards
So those would be the artists, right?
And then within that, we have different levels for students, different kinds of discounts for seniors or for long distance. And then we also have a community level of membership, which is for folks who just want to be connected and to be involved, who want to come to events, learn about new artists, get Studio Magazine. And often those are folks that like to shop at the shop, or they're teachers, or they're administrators. So it's a way to be connected into the community and know what's happening, because we put out newsletters quite often.
Great.
And then we also have a level of membership for organizations. So there are different guilds throughout the province, ceramic guilds, woodworking guilds. So there are members. We have galleries that are members, schools, businesses. So anyone who's craft related, we want them in a network so that we can all be stronger together.
So what exactly is the process to become a member? Let's say I'm an artist and someone told me about your organization.
So how would I become a member if I'm an artist?
Yeah, so anyone can become a member. It is a paid annual fee, and you can sign up online or you can sign up in person, and that access is for anyone, and that business support piece for makers comes for anybody who wants to be a member. When we start looking at things like the shop or exhibitions or awards, because again, we have so many members, those have to be juried application systems, which we do every year. So members then apply to get into an exhibition or get into the shop. Yeah.
So are there different levels of memberships? You know, I'm assuming if a corporation wanted to become a member, kind of like a sponsor or some kind of...
Yeah. I mean, the maker community and organization are kind of our core ones, and they have varying prices within them. But we also have a patron membership, which is for folks who, again, love craft and who really want to invest in the community and grow the community. And so folks can become members for $2,000, and that money goes straight into programming and supporting the artists, and then they get a tax receipt. Yeah.
Are you a charity?
We are.
Oh, we thought you were a not-for-profit.
We're both.
Oh, well, that's a different story. So we have to say, any donor who sponsor for you, that you give a tax receipt.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so they can write that off in their taxes.
Yeah.
Do you tell that on the website?
We do.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgive me, I didn't realize you were in charge of it.
Well, that's fine. It's interesting to hear that you couldn't find that on the website, and I'm excited that we're redoing our website and making those processes a little easier.
Fantastic. Fantastic. You should do it on everything that you do.
Yeah.
We should. And I'm sure the community on West Queen West, it's always been known as being rather unique. And that it has a lot of artists, different types of artists using different types of media. And so I don't know how much the West Queen West community know of all the things that your organization does. Has anyone in West Queen West, like the executive director is Rob Sizer, and I'm sure you know him. Everybody knows Rob.
Yes.
And on the BIA website, they feature the members. Are you a member of the BIA?
Yes.
You are.
Yep.
So they should be able to feature you on the website. You should have a chat with them and find out what's
Well, they do support us. They give us a shout out on social media every once in a while, and they're following us. So yeah, we're really, the BIA on Queen West is great. But it's true, because we're a nonprofit, it's not like we have lots of resources.
Yeah, of course.
Our marketing budget is pretty small, and we moved to this location in the fall of 2016, and certainly we still have people who come in and say, I've never been in here before, and so slowly we're working at that, but also, again, really grateful to be here today to help spread the word.
Because after we're finished doing this, and of course editing it, this and that, it will also be on the BIA website. But we also give a link to you so that you will have this entrance. And that can also help to promote you, put it on your website, and people can see and hear what the organization is all about. And if they wish to sponsor, then they get a tax receipt too.
Absolutely. Give me a call, send me an email. I'd love to meet you.
Yeah, because, organizations, take the opera, for instance. Yeah. There's different levels that you can sponsor the opera. And I'm sure you're basically doing the same thing, the different levels and so on. And I would imagine that the artists wouldn't be paying a lot for to become a member.
No. The most expensive level of membership is $130, and it can go all the way down to $0.
And they get
for $130, what would they get? They get access to promoting their work. Do they get the magazine?
Absolutely. They get 2 copies a year. They get access to discounts on insurance, discounts on health and dental, on supplies, on services. They get access to staff who can help them with their careers. They get access to workshops to learn how to do marketing, to learn how to sell online, things that any kind of small entrepreneur might need to know for their business. Yeah, so it's I think it's a great membership, and you get a lot with it.
Well, it certainly sounds like it.
And especially the community. That's what we hear from our members in terms of one of the things that has the most value is you get to connect with your peers, you get to know what's happening, you get to find out about opportunities, and that goes a long way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you ever do anything with the theater center?
Not anything in terms of a big event, but they're one of our favorite neighbors, and we definitely know each other, and we've done some small exchanges in terms of programming and marketing. And it's interesting, you were talking about the landscape of Queen West. There used to be a lot more galleries and a lot more of that kind of activity here, and so we really love that the theater center is here, and we're holding down the fort as mutual nonprofits.
Yeah, because they're a great organization too.
Oh, amazing!
And yours is quite different, and I understand that. But you are more focusing the finished work of an artist.
Yes.
And exhibiting the work and hoping that people will come in and buy the work. And also the other side is being a member of this. And I really think you're doing terrific work. No, I really do. I think it's fabulous. And it's just, I hope that we can help you get the word out.
Oh, I'm sure you
can. And to do many more interviews of this nature. And I think that we're running a little bit out of time now, Janna.
Well, so we've had a great talk.
Yeah, it was terrific. And I want to thank you for coming. It's been a pleasure.
Oh, likewise.
And I look forward to seeing you again. And for sure, I'm going to have another visit in the shop across the street.
Absolutely.
Because it's absolutely amazing. So, again, I just want to say thank you very much for coming today. And your website
is craftontario.com, and you can find us on socials at craftontario, and we'd love to connect with you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Janna.
Thank you.
We'll be seeing you again.
Sounds good.
Thank you. I'm your host, Aggie V. Thank you very much for viewing, and we will be interviewing more very interesting guests in the near future. Thank you for watching.